3, 2,
One.
1. Here we go.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Midnight 30. This is episode 4.
Fantastic four fingers.
We've been at this for 4 weeks now. I'm so proud of us.
Fantastic four fingers.
Say that
I
again.
hit the Mr. Fantastic.
Say that again.
It's fantastic.
Hey guys, as always, my name is Derek. This is JJ, and this is Romaine.
Yeah, I don't have a voice. I can't introduce myself. If you guys did not see last week's video, click this link right here, or it'll be linked in the description. And on the channel, there's a new chronological playlist if you want to start from episode 1, because for whatever reason you're starting with 4. Go back and watch from 1 to here. And a little Easter egg, the original episodes from 5 years ago are in that playlist too.
Don't watch those.
Watch them. Don't watch those. Are better.
Anyway, so going into this new episode, we're going to blind pick our topics of discussion. Now, this week we just went ahead and wrote in some of our own topics, but the whole purpose is that
eventually we want you guys to come up with the topics.
Yeah, so we want this to be a little bit more interactive. So you can leave your comments down in the description. What topics you guys want us to talk about? Again, this is us going blindly into it. I have no idea what to expect. I know what I wrote. He knows what he wrote. Cameron knows what Cameron wrote. So we're gonna get right into that and see. Do you want to pick?
I forgot I can't express my face too much.
It's okay. Okay. Do you want to pick the topic?
Sure.
All right. Drum roll. Why is it taking so long?
Because they're folded, so they were like all
right.
intertwined. I picked one of mine. That's okay. So, dude, my handwriting is trash. I have a blood blister on my thumb. So I wrote down the word maturity, but I have like a thought process behind the actual question or topic at hand. Basically, at what point in life does maturity go from being a thing that happens when we grow up to being boring? Like, what level of maturity is boring? Because I guess just...
So you're talking about stages of life and going from adolescence into young adult to adult and learning how to not be a kid, to be a little bit more mature and to be an adult and live in the world. But then
how do you be an adult while not losing all of the kid-like tendencies? Because I don't think they're all bad. I mean, I feel like when there are certain people that grow up and they mature but still have a sense of humor. You know, they can lock in, they can grind, they can get the job done, and they're hyper-focused. But then, okay, cool, it's time to clock out, it's time to go home, time to whatever is done is done. Now they can kick back and cut up. And,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
But then you have people that are so incredibly boring because, oh, that's so childish of you. That's immature. Why are you making jokes like that? Or, you know, they don't go and do anything that's fun or was fun to them because, well, you know, I grew up. I'm mature. Why would I do Why would I do silly things like that? Like, at what point? At what distinguishing point is being mature no longer a factor of being an adult and it's just being boring? And we can pick another topic at some point because this
I like the topic of maturity.
No, I honestly was thinking about a conversation I had with my boss about, well, I guess I could say Alan, but they don't know that. With my boss about, like, I mean, he's a cool dude. He's funny. And, like, you know, we talk cars, we cut up, we crack jokes. He's making fart jokes and penis jokes. I'm making all kinds of jokes.
But he's also well into his 40s.
He's well into his 40s, but he has, I would say, to my standards, good money. He's comfortable. He has a house. He has a wife. He has kids. You know, he does things he enjoys, like overlanding and drifting. And like I say, he cuts up. But when he's working, he is working. But then that kind of, like, he was where I got the idea for that being a talking point is looking at him versus looking at some other 40-year-olds that I know. And it's just like, dude, they're fucking boring. Because...
Well, it's specifically boring because all they care about is work?
Well, no, it's not even that all they care about is work. Because I mean, I'm 24 and all I really care about is work and money. But at the end of the day, like I can still kick back, cut up, make a podcast, and talk about whatever. But it's like there are certain people that it's like they would look down on something even like this because well, that's a childish thing to do. That's an immature thing.
Yeah,
to do.
I hear what you're saying. It's kind of a broad topic because maturity is very
It's a spectrum.
yes, it's a spectrum. Subjective, exactly. So, I mean, people can have a certain level of agreement of when people are mature, and I think that happens when people reach a certain level of responsibility in their life, like having to hold themselves accountable for going to a job and holding themselves accountable for taking care of people, especially when you're starting a family. Like, you have to be mature when you're getting into a family because you're bringing in life to the world, So at a certain point, like, there's no, I think, if, ands, or buts about it. Like, you have to be mature and grown up and just
Well, and I
do
understand
it.
that point, and I understand that part, and that's the thing. Like, I agree with that level of maturity, but I think there's a certain level that's like it's just unrealistically boring. It's like, why would I want to? Why would I want to become this NPC robot that doesn't have fun? Can't
Well,
crack a joke. Can't enjoy little things that I used to enjoy just because I have to be mature.
By the way, guys, joining us again this week is my little brother Thomas.
Yeah, he had to go stretch before the podcast.
Yep.
He had to get a cold one.
Yep.
So today's topic, as of right now,
Kroger off wearing Diet Coke.
is maturity. What makes a person mature? And at what point does maturity just turn into being boring? According to JJ.
I think that was actually a better way to word what I was trying to say.
I think sometimes, like, as you sort of
Actually,
want
before
to...
before you start, I want to ask. So,
What?
good lord,
He went
Can you-
right
I
to
can't
the
help
mic.
that. I
Gulp it
swallow
any
a lot.
louder?
I don't know how to be quiet when I gulp. I got a big Adam's apple. What do you want me to do?
What was my train of thought? Yeah, so before we get into this topic, because I want to hear your insight.
I'm just drinking.
Objective. Perfect example.
These two are not mature.
I'm literally drinking a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here. You're asking him a question. He's the one laughing.
Right, so maturity. Thomas, I want to ask, because you're still a teenager, what does being mature mean to you?
See, I wasn't doing it on purpose. I genuinely cannot swallow.
That
quiet.
literally just answered my question.
Like,
What does being mature? Like, you hear...
mature, like,
you, be mature, Thomas. What does that mean to you?
But don't just define like maturity. Like what in your brain defines maturity, not the book term maturity.
yeah. So I view maturity for me as assimilating into an actual productive society. Because I
Okay.
think people who are within a productive society are mature.
So, quote unquote, like just becoming an adult. And
Becoming a functional, a self-functional member of society.
right, like getting
An
a job and holding yourself accountable and
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much
Yeah,
checks
because maybe somehow your job actually can either benefit or not benefit someone's life if you're not present.
out. Okay, so with JJ's question, he says that there comes a point when being mature leads to just being boring.
Yeah.
At what point do you think that is?
I think maturity, especially for some people who do end up starting to get and assimilate into society and be a productive member of it, they might start to plateau in terms of doing things that are new.
Mm-hmm.
They might just start having their day become the same day over and over. And I think for some that can definitely lead to having a boring life. But I think I think that it's still subjective because
But leading a boring life doesn't mean you're not mature, though.
That's more so just having a routine. and it works. So you
Right.
stick
So
to
I
it.
think the initial question of comparing maturity and being boring is kind of infallible because it doesn't really make sense.
I feel like
How does it not make
some
sense?
people might like now that their life is a mature life, like they might be bored, but then some people might not be. They wouldn't consider themselves
But
bored.
I'm not talking about they feel bored in their own lives. I'm talking about like
Keep talking about.
I'm talking about in the sense of you get to a certain level of this person can be super mature and have all of his shit together and he's very financially smart and takes care of himself and his family and the things he needs to get done and focuses. But he can also turn that off when it's time to turn that off and
Salud.
Bless you.
and he can hang out with friends and crack jokes and like cut up and go do things that he enjoys versus people that literally will look down upon said things that person enjoys because we left that when we were children. Why are we still doing childish things? You should almost in a sense like a maturity Nazi in the sense of they're very cutthroat. Huh?
The N word is crazy.
I got a different one that you might like.
Oh, it's not.
But like they're very cutthroat on
So I
like
was surprised he didn't just say N-word number 2.
but like I don't know. Basically that. Like I'm not talking about somebody that personally feels like, oh, my life's so boring. I'm so bored. It's the same thing every day. Like
Right, but that a person who leads a boring life could also be a very mature person.
I didn't say.
I guess
There's
How
a
about-
difference
how about
between
this?
boring routines and
this?
being
What
boring
defines-
personality wise.
Let's start here.
I think this
What
question needs to be
defines
restated.
Maturity? I think maturity can be okay. Let's just start over.
There can be things that can be
Maturity-
mature, but then also
maturity-
fun.
Let's start here. So maturity is a spectrum, and it's a spectrum that's subjective. To each and every one of you, what is maturity, and what is the consensus of what maturity should look like?
I think being mature, again, like I stated, means holding accountability and responsibility. And once you start to maintain those two things daily into a routine in your life, I think that equates to you being mature. Like showing up for a job, taking care of pets, taking care of family. Just living as an adult in a society. I don't really know how else to explain that.
I'm trying to rethink my question because
Should we just redraw?
We're getting nowhere, and it's not answering.
I
the
don't think
question in
it
my
answers.
mind.
What's the question in your mind?
Well, I think I just am wording it wrong because the question in my mind is not the distinguishable factor of what makes someone mature. It's more so. Fuck it, draw another topic. I don't know.
I was gonna say we're gonna start the entire podcast.
I feel like we're just going in circles here. So, all right.
I'm still at the age of like immaturity. So
I mean, you're a teenager. It's
yeah.
expected.
Listen,
Then we got another one.
Free speech.
Pull another one. Let's not do another one.
We're not doing yours, bro.
That's just common sense.
What else did you write?
Why do you keep pulling mine? You didn't
You
shuffle these.
You just said to
literally
pull yours out.
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
name labeled on the back of it.
No, because you're the only one who wrote yours in Sharpie.
Yeah, but you literally just clumped up each pile and put it in there.
Just
Oh, that just came out. Best sports car for a guy in their 20s.
Oh my god.
Why is it so specific?
That is very
That's the
specific.
point.
You know what? Maybe we should just make our way through all the topics.
Okay. Best sports car
Okay.
for a guy in their 20s.
Okay.
In the 20s? Okay, we'll circle back to him.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas, you're not in your 20s. What do you think would be the best sports car for a guy in his 20s?
Not my 20s.
What do you think would be a car? Like, when you turn 20, what car would you want to see yourself driving?
No fucking idea.
I know you're not really a car guy.
I mean,
Like, would you just
I know of cars that I would want to
Do you
get.
have a car right now?
They're not sports cars.
Do you have a car right now?
It doesn't matter. Cool cars for a guy that driving in his 20s.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a sports car. What's
an
the?
opinion? This topic is lame. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
Well, this one's just a kind of quick one.
Who wrote this?
Me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so glad you said that, and I didn't have to say.
I didn't say anything. Don't
Whatever.
flick me off. Look, my topic about free
general.
speech. My thought process was: is free speech actually free?
Guys, this is why we need your thoughts and your opinions.
So that way we can't argue
We
with it.
don't.
We still have
That
to
is a
be
good
forced
point.
to answer
That is a
it.
good point.
Even if other people think they're dumb, we'll still talk about it. Just don't be
No one's
weird.
gonna watch this. I'm just
I don't like that mindset.
Can we
The
talk
free
about
speech
the
one
jar?
was free
Okay.
speech isn't actually
What's that
free, and hookup culture. How you gonna skip hookup
Ooh,
culture?
that's a good one.
Oh no, he threw it to the side.
You said throw yours out.
No, I didn't.
Oh, he said that?
I said, why do you keep picking mine? Don't use that one. Try somebody else's. I didn't say throw them out.
Travel. Necessary?
Oh my god.
Question
He picked
mark?
another one that he wrote.
That is not what I wrote.
I actually wrote that one.
Yeah, never mind. I can read that a little bit better.
That one was my last 3 brain cells.
So
trying
no?
to squeeze out, and
What does it say?
Travel.
I mean, what do you guys think? We can
Necessary?
talk about
All right, I'll kick it off. I think travel is necessary. People need to explore the world
I wanted to talk
and experience cultures.
about what sports car I wanted.
it. Okay, so that was actually my talking point in that because I think that there's a commonly found bubble that everyone seems to live in within cultures, within households, within communities, and I think it's important for perspective and for general expansion and knowledge and understanding of others around you in your communities that neighbor you, countries that neighbor you, states that neighbor you. I think it's important to get out of your bubble, travel, experience, see other perspectives, experience other food, experience other ways of living. Maybe you don't travel to exactly do that. Maybe you read a book or you watch a show or listen to music. But I think traveling is one of the best ways for you to fully grasp all of that or get a full or true authentic experience of all those things, to get an expanded understanding of just others around you. And I think that can eventually bleed into mentalities that, sway elections, sway general standard of living, sway general standard of traditions in a household, a community, whatever. I think it's important for all of us to get out of our bubbles.
With that said, I think traveling is the one thing every human should do. Like, there is no question about it. Like, you have to see. Because if you just, again, stay in your bubble, then what is the point? You're only going to want what's best in the bubble because that's what everybody in your bubble has. Travel, explore, find new things, explore new things. I think it's just the epitome of being human. Like, that's the whole point, is to learn. Am I wrong? Am I right?
I mean,
Open floor.
I don't.
Give us your opinion. It could be completely left.
I think for me, I think it's inherently contingent on if someone is even able to travel in such a way.
Whose fault is that? Theirs.
That's what I'm saying. Take
Take it back to the homeless conversation. It's their fault.
Literally what I remembered.
But I think it's contingent on that. If someone is,
Yeah, but ask any
if someone's in the position to travel, they should.
But the thing is, the people in
100%
positions
should.
of being able to travel oftentimes don't travel as much as the people who can't travel want to travel. There are so many people that are broke and so many people that are in shitty situations that are like, I just want to explore the world. I want to explore this. I want to go see something else. I've never left Georgia. I've never left my hometown. And they want to so badly,
I know,
they can't.
But then but that's what I'm trying to say.
Frontier got $50 tickets. That's all I'm saying.
Spirit Airlines might not get you there, but they have cheap tickets too.
Fly Spirit, you might become one.
I only fly Delta.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I encourage travel though, definitely.
I think it's absolutely necessary in everybody's life.
I don't even think it matters
I think
it's necessary.
With all the trips that I've been on, I think my life would have been like 100 times more boring.
Right, and it's not even to look back on the trips and
you just don't have memories and stories to tell of things that other people haven't seen that you've seen. Like, if you don't travel, oh yeah,
I know, it's just like
this new restaurant just got built 5 minutes from my house. That's about all you.
That's
have.
great. Or what if your lineage wants to ask, hey, what was the coolest place you traveled to? And here, being a resident of Georgia, and I say Savannah, Georgia, that's the coolest place I've ever been. It's just sad. It is so sad.
Been the soundboard. Ooh, we should get a soundboard. That'd be nice. With some SpongeBob sound effects.
Why SpongeBob?
Huh?
Why not SpongeBob?
Because they have the greatest selection of memes, reactions.
Yeah,
XYZ.
why not?
That's like the easiest answer.
I've actually
literally the PU smell just now would have worked perfectly.
I've actually been to more countries than I have states.
Exactly.
And I don't know. There's like an internal urge in me to stop going out of country just so I can explore all 50 states and then continue going out of country.
See, I would consider myself, very lucky with where I've been born and the family I've been born into, because I've been to 48 states, and I can honestly say that, it truly is a blessing to see the world in its whole, and how many other countries? 11. I think I've been to 11 countries. And dude, there's over 300 countries, and each one has their own provinces, own different regions, different cities, different dialects, everything. I feel like I still haven't touched the surface of finding what it means to be human and to see how people live throughout the world.
Speaking of other countries, has nothing to do with the topic, but other countries. Did you see that Egypt finally, after 20 years of trying to get this museum up and running, and after over $1 billion, they finally opened their National History Museum? Or not national.
I actually did read something about that.
Is it national? I don't know, but everybody in the comments were just throwing out so much shit about it because they were like, yeah, it's beautiful, but
what's the point?
Well, literally, why have a nice building where you can see all this stuff when that shit literally was just in their backyard on display?
Yeah.
But
I
wish Egypt was safe enough to even go see those things.
I guess I'll add one more thing about travel, but I really enjoyed a lot of the road trips that, me and you and everyone else in the family
you used to throw some
on.
temper tantrums on those trips, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so uncomfortable in that Navigator, that Lincoln Navigator, in the way
and
back,
you being the youngest,
in the middle,
yes, you had last pick.
It hurt, it literally hurt my back. My ass was hurting from the way it was sitting. All I wanted to do, God, Sarah, sacrifice yourself and sit in there so I can sit up there.
Yeah, Sarah was always sitting but next to me.
That's all I would try to do.
Yeah, travel. That's a pretty quick topic, I think.
But
travel, absolutely necessary.
But I've, I'm also, very thankful that, his dad hooked up with my mom, and
that brings us to our next topic: hookup culture. No.
and because of that, it's led me to be able to travel to.
Because his dad's rich.
All sorts of states and
rich.
do snowmobiling and stuff like that.
What?
Snowmobiling?
No, I want to hear you say it one more time.
Snowmobiling.
Anyway, yes, I think travel's necessary. I think
Does that sound
if you don't
weird?
have and I
Does it
think if you
sound-
don't have the means of being able to travel, do better. And I think if you do have the means, why are you still home? Go do something. Go somewhere. I think it's absolutely necessary.
All right.
Educational purposes,
I
but
guess-
also just for experience. Why stay stuck to the same place for a million years?
Next topic.
Hookup culture.
What does it mean to be a man in 2025?
Well, first define what a man is.
Subjective.
Subjective?
No.
Well,
Okay,
Ooh,
are we
see?
talking?
All right.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Time out. Are we talking about what it means to be a man in the sense of kind of like the maturity question of there's definitions to how a man should act, or are we talking about being a man like
Biologically.
I was born with a penis, I'm a man?
I think it all ties together regardless. Like,
No.
if you think of a woman and you think of a man, there's mentality and there's physicality behind.
So you're saying
The
men
word
and women
itself.
aren't equal?
Say what again?
So you're saying men and women
I
aren't
didn't
equal?
say all that. No. Just kidding. But I mean, there's physicality and mentality behind the word itself, whether you're talking about a woman or a man. In 2025 society, and in more recent years, that is constantly changing because it's so subjective.
Is it changing, or are people just mentally sick and trying to convince others?
Ooh.
Hey, that's I might get.
Okay,
back
so
to that
JJ,
one, but yeah.
why don't
I
you?
mean,
Okay, my bad.
sorry, let me just finish this thought. So, I mean, you talk about being a man. You talk about let's start with the mentality of it. What is a man typically? What is the typical question for the audience, or I guess you guys? What is the typical ideologies
the
of
audience
what a
right
man
now.
is supposed to be? When you think of a man, not talking about.
How about
physical,
I was about to say,
what
how
are the
about this? We
responsibilities of a man?
take biological and gender stuff out.
Yeah,
let's
we're
just talk
talking-
about societal standards for
Yeah,
being
what
a
are the
man.
standards?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are
We're
the
talking.
standards
I'm
We're
just
that
making
talking.
sure
makes a
I'm on the
man?
same
We're talking
page.
in the context of behavior.
What are the standards that makes a man a man?
A man is
I think-
someone that is able to provide, able to protect, and able to serve. I think.
Okay,
Behavior.
I'm gonna note that.
I think going off of JJ, protect, serve, and provide, and I think it goes even further back
Why don't you
to
just say
caveman
last
terms. It goes back to caveman terminology of
Ooga ooga.
the hunter and gatherer. I think man's inherent nature and to be a man goes back to being a hunter.
So you're saying they prey on women because they're hunting?
No,
I'm joking.
I'm saying being a man means providing. It means showing up. It means putting in the work. It means doing the hard thing.
It also means thugging it out, sucking it up. Nobody cares.
Okay, Thomas. Noted, Thomas.
Thank you.
Yeah, serve, protect, provide.
Seems like we're all pretty
There's much
generally
else
on the
to say to
same
that.
thought
Yeah.
process on that.
As long as you're able to protect your family, you're able to serve your community if they need you to, such as like, let's say there's something really important that's going on, like an emergency situation or a natural disaster that's going on where you live, and let's say there's a really bad flood, and there's a lot of homes
Like
that,
helping people get
like-
out of flood territory and
like no. I mean
Survival of the
like
fittest.
no
Natural selection.
I meant
Get
like
the fuck out of there.
I meant like natural disaster cleanup
clean
and
up. Clean up. Okay.
recovery, specifically recovery.
So you think that's one of the manliest things a guy can do?
not one of the manliest things, but I find that
But it is a manly thing to do.
I think
I
it's
would
just
say
a
it
decent
is,
human
yeah.
being thing to do.
it
though.
also is a decent it's
Yeah.
a decent human being thing to do.
I feel like that
But
one-
I would say you're being more of a man when you do that.
I mean, yes, but I feel like that one is one of those that's kind of like man.
But
or
it, but
woman,
it's
that's
but
just
it's
kind of
it's not inherently it's inherently gender neutral, like doing that. What I
you're just
what I
saying
specifically
it's
said.
it's okay.
If I think what he's trying to get at is like if I were to go and do a hurricane cleanup.
You're being a good man.
Yeah. It would just
I mean, yeah, you're.
show that I am a man. I can help. I can provide.
Exactly. You're a man.
And not saying that women can't do it.
Exactly. Like going out and doing something like that, like that's inherently gender neutral. But I would say that, again, you're more of a man or a good man, in other words.
I think that one's more of a good man than actually being a man, because that would be a more gender neutral thing. I mean, it's just decent.
Noted, and noted.
But like,
okay,
there's a
so,
like, it's just like I'm so like I don't know, like like someone just has like dreadlocks for pubes, like I don't know what else to say.
All right, cease.
Like what else am I gonna say?
The N-word.
Okay, so to summarize,
like what makes someone more of a man? Like I don't know.
I mean, if you were to put it on a sheet of paper, check boxes, listing items one by one, and you're able to check them all off and say, yes, this is a man. That was essentially the question, excluding the physicality part of it. What makes a man a man? Provision, protecting. It's essentially the both.
Well, I guess for me,
We all three said.
for
all
me,
three
for
of the
me,
same
for me,
thing.
I would actually say being a father or some type of parental
Okay.
figure.
I would argue that is
Being
something
being
that
some
defines
being
being a
being
man,
some
for sure.
type of
Or you
being
mean
a
the
paternal
idea of being
figure.
you mean the idea of being a father, or the
The
the actual
like even engaging in being a father or a paternal figure in someone's life, or even aspiring to be a father. I think
Chris says some of the dumbest things, but uses the biggest words in his other sentences. I'm not saying what you just said is dumb. I'm saying I've heard some dumb things come out of your mouth, but then you turn around and use really big words, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like an on and off switch for me.
yeah, but all three of us generally said all three of the same things, though.
So what is your follow-up question?
Okay, so all three of those things are still subjective, because I can argue that we're talking about a definition, and when you define something, it is definite. All three of those things that you just mentioned are to be
Definitions change over time.
Are to be argued that they can be used. I mean that they can be descriptive of a woman in today's society, especially.
Yeah, but you didn't ask what are the differences between men and women. You just said what makes a man.
I wasn't asking for differences.
But you said what makes a man a man.
So the topic.
You didn't say it.
So the topic
Couldn't be the same thing or different than.
I'm really-
Remind me the topic.
Okay, wait. So to get into more specifics, besides providing, protecting, going more so long on the routes of being a father, being a parental figure, being
A paternal figure.
a father figure, you know?
Yeah.
That is something that
Not just engaging, but also
that is
just,
something that a man and a man alone could do. Because yes, a woman could raise a child completely on her own into today's society
Without a father figure, it's completely
without
different.
fail, but
One word.
there is still a lack of fatherhood.
One word.
Subjective.
I mean, it's funny, but that's the reality we live in. Like,
there are studs.
But they still wouldn't, even though they might have manly qualities and act a certain way, they still would not have the capabilities of being that father figure. Regardless of it.
So what are those capabilities?
We all just said.
No.
What are those capabilities that separates a physical woman from a man?
And not talking about
And
biological
we're
different.
not talking about biological features, because if there are separate items and categories that a man can fall into that differentiates that man from a woman of
Yeah, but the original
lesbian
question
stature,
had nothing to do with
whatever it is.
differentiating. It just had everything to do
But see,
with
now-
what makes a man a man.
But the point was, so the topic
But that's
is
diving
what
into
makes-
more
what
specifics.
makes a man, right? That's our topic. And if we want to talk about what makes a man, we have to define the things that makes a man besides the physical aspect.
Thinking with logic, being able to communicate.
A
No.
woman is able to do that.
No.
A woman is able to do that.
Bring
All
any
of those
female
things.
in front of me right now.
So here's the point. Every last thing, and I agree with you guys. As being a traditional man myself, I agree with you guys. Those are things that categorize as a man. However, in today's, and I'm going to use air quotations, woke society.
We're being critical here.
Very critical. I mean, just speaking realistically, all those things, whether it's to lean towards a side of wokeness, or to lean towards a side of more freedoms, or to lean towards the sides of
Societal
realities where there's imbalances in parental statuses, where it might be a single mother or a single father, or even a parentless child. There are multiple things that you guys just mentioned that would categorize a man as a man that are to be argued can be completed and fulfilled by someone that's not a man. So,
But just because a
question,
female has to take up that role sometimes does not mean that is her role or her job.
but
No.
then that's subjective. It's still subjective. So then
Everything
again,
is subjective.
the question still stands: what makes a man a man?
I
Literally
think
everything in life is subjective, and as society changes, those subjective categories change, and it's up to people to decide if they're going to conform and abide by it, or if they're going to stick to their traditional, how they were raised values.
I
To
agree
me,
with that.
a man and a woman, yes, they can both do a lot of the same things, but to me, what makes a man, it doesn't matter that a female can do that stuff. It's that
The man should.
in life, the roles of those specific things are for a man, and females have their specific roles. Yes, more power and props to the women that have to take up those roles that men were supposed to play in their lives and their families' lives, but that's not how it's supposed to be. So yes, as much as it's subjective, just because a female can do it does not mean they are supposed to do it.
Oh yeah, I think there definitely is a sociological difference between someone who was raised by a single parent versus someone who was raised by both a paternal and a maternal figure.
I agree, and I actually have a very personal perspective on this one because I never met my father, and the upbringing that I personally had, I never had, not once did I ever have the, oh, I want my father or I want my daddy kind of. I never had those I've never had father issues like that, and that's just me speaking self-critically of myself, trying to take an outward look on how I was raised and how I remember being brought up, but I don't ever recall ever wanting or seeking that elsewhere other than from my mom, my grandmother, and my grandpa. My grandpa filled in maybe, I mean, mind you, for most of my upbringing, he was at least 85 years old. So he really didn't necessarily contribute as a father per se. He was a man figure that we went to for, I don't know, food sometimes whenever he would cook, because he was a good cook. To maybe watch him tend to his garden kind of thing. But there wasn't any parental features that he sufficed that my mom or my grandmother didn't. And those are both women.
Yeah, but that's because they were forced into having to take up that role, is my point.
So the point still rolls back to what makes a man a man.
No, because you're asking this question as if I didn't just answer it. Just because the woman is forced into those positions does not mean that that is a woman role or makes them any more of a woman or a manly
So
woman.
what defines that? You're telling me that that's suppose this, suppose that, doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that. What defines that?
Are you asking for what source backs up that thought process behind?
Well, here's the deal. So you're offering...
Because if that's the case, then we can go biblical with
from
this.
You're saying this is subjective, but you asking this question is subjective as well.
Okay, so...
There is no definitive
let's-
answer going off of that
Let's
logic.
boil it down just a little bit more. So what I'm offering is...
I feel like we're trying to be too impartial here.
Okay.
Well, what I'm trying to offer is a little bit of, let's say, reality and facts, right? But the responses that I'm supposedly eliciting right now are more so opinions based on experience.
So then enlighten us,
Yeah,
because you
it's
keep
like-
getting the same
well, like-
responses.
So let's try and stick to.
I mean-
so let's try and stick to actual facts. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's just everyone's gonna have a different answer to this.
So what I'm saying is enlighten
this
us
is
to what
hard.
you believe the facts are, because you're still getting the same circle by asking us over and over again.
I don't have one. That's the point of the conversation.
If
I
you
think
can't even
that
define the facts, then how do you
genuinely,
know which one is fact?
If you want to know my opinion, I wanted to get to the bottom of your opinion out of fact, not opinion or feelings or whatever it is. I wanted to know where your stance is coming from, and how are you able to stand on that based on the fact that you're saying a man is supposed to do this, a man is supposed to do that, and a woman's not. Where's that coming from?
But a woman not
defines
supposed
that,
to do something does
and
not
how
say a
does that
woman
play into
can't do
society?
it, though.
Right, and that's honestly where I stand as well. So my thing is, in 2025,
I think it's like you.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about
You don't
2025.
have
I think a lot of
And-
things
and I-
societally have been lost
I
and
kind
construed.
of mentioned where I stand a little bit ago too, when I said that I'm more of a traditional man. When I say I'm a traditional man, maybe I'm not overly religious, maybe I'm not overly woke or overly not woke.
And it's not like you're going out every day to go hunt for food either.
I'm not going out to do such things. No.
But we also live in a different time. Who does that?
My
Realistic
personal, my personal belief. I'm not ignorant to what is going on around us and the kind of world we live in today. But based on my personal beliefs and upbringing, my traditional sense of what a man is to be, mind you, I didn't grow up with a father, is essentially all the things you guys just mentioned. But that doesn't erase the fact that it can't be done by a woman.
Yeah, but I already said that.
I think, yes, so we have concluded that men and women can both do each other's tasks equally.
But they
But
don't get the same pay.
I wouldn't say equally.
but I think there is an inherent nature
I know
to-
some women that are stronger than you.
I think there is an inherent nature to
Stronger
men
than me,
and
but
oh my
not stronger than
god.
the peak male.
Let me finish my thought here. I got a thought, okay?
It's okay, ladies.
Please.
I got y'all.
Continue.
Okay.
My mouth is closed.
I think there is an inherent difference between men and women based on the sole purpose that I think a man's role and a man's job is strictly problem solving. Yes? And a woman's role is nurturing and emotional support. And I think, yes, one can do the other, and we can go all days in circle about subjectiveness and they can do this, they can do that. But I think at the end of the day, it's about a man is a man because he can be a father figure. He teaches the kids how to survive, how to think on their feet, how to problem solve. And the woman's job is to nurture, to help grow, and to teach kids how to be how to be a human, I guess.
Genuine opinion, even as a traditional man, I think that either a mother or father can do.
We're
either
not
role.
saying they can't, Romaine. This is where I'm getting frustrated with you about your own question. Is you're asking what a man is. We're giving you an answer that you can also sort of get behind, but then you counter it with, but a woman can too. We're not saying they can't.
I'm asking for the definite. That's what I'm asking.
But you
for.
can't even give that, so you can't ask for it, because then you're just going to counter us, but you can't even give the definite yourself.
Yeah, something that's uniquely male.
So here's where the
Uniquely
disconnect is. Here's
male.
where the disconnect is. I can't give you a definite, but you can't give me a definite either. But you're offering.
But
you're-
how
what
are
you're
you going to argue with me that mine's
What
not the
What
definite?
I'm trying to bring you to is where the level of understanding I'm trying to bring you to, or to meet you at, is the fact that those aren't definites. Those are to be countered and to be art.
Any
I'm trying to
societal
play the-
standard is not a definite.
I'm trying to play the devil's advocate for society because again, I agree with you, and you agree that I agree with you, right?
But there is no definite at the end of the day. There is no definite answer.
That's where I want you to meet me at.
Because I was about to
That's
say,
what I'm looking
because think about it.
I already said that it wasn't a definite
You could
factual
go-
answer.
you could-
that is my thoughts.
No, you can't.
Because I don't think
But you did the
I
exact
don't
same
think I don't
thing.
think there could be any definite. I think that's actually something
I
that's
agree.
impossible.
Honestly, I think it boils back down to what's in your pants.
Okay, but that's something that's like so
Because-
Biologically,
it's
what's in
biological.
your
So-
We're talking like sociological.
So that's the talking point.
Exactly.
In
We're not
today's
talking
society,
biology.
So that's where you were talking. I don't care about what's going on in today's society. This is what it is.
No, I said I don't give a fuck about what's going on in today's society because it's mentally construed and it's all about societal propaganda and what motives and agendas want to be pushed.
So there's the talking point. There's a lot.
We literally said
there's
the
a
same
lot-
thing,
there's
but
a-
kept
there's a-
arguing a circle for no reason.
So, again, what you're offering is a subjective answer that can be a truth for you, but a lie for someone else.
Correct, but I'm saying there's no
And that-
definitive answer,
And
no matter the
and there lies the
standpoint.
conversation where we can talk and find a bridge between the two.
So then it's a matter of changing the wording of the question because there can't be anything that defines a man, but it's
Like I said, it boils back down to your penis.
XX or XY chromosomes.
Yeah, because in today's society, there's
People
really
like to
not much
play
else that can
cosplay
define
in
you,
real life.
that can separate you. There's really not. And even then, you're having transsexuals. Let me be a little bit serious here. Even then, you're having transsexuals, which then it becomes an even more complicated, subjective answer of you're not a real man, you're not a real woman.
See,
type
but I
thing.
feel like gender-wise, it's more definitive than actual roles. I feel like biologically a man is a man, biologically a woman is a woman. That can never be changed. However, how a man should act and how a woman should act and what they can and can't do equally or not equally, those are subjective. But
It's
gender-wise, that's
contemporarily
that's
subjective.
scientifically definitive,
Like-
not societally definitive.
So give
Like-
us the definitive. That's what
But
the
the-
question was.
the
begging.
definitive-
But we already said we weren't talking about
But
gender. We weren't
having
talking
a-
about biological gender.
Exactly.
That's
if we're,
why
if
I
we're, if
couldn't
we're,
give a
if,
difference.
again, if we're talking in the
There
context
is no
of
definite. That's the answer.
if we're
if
exactly
we're talking about
if we're talking about sociology,
what they should be like, correct.
if
There
we're
is
talking
no
about-
definitive.
if we're talking about
Move this
No.
on.
biology, there is a definite.
There is not.
Biology?
Biologically, yes.
Excuse me. I didn't hear the biology. I was still thinking about.
We are
Okay.
we are agreeing with you. Societally, yes. What makes a man, what makes a
Because-
woman a woman, there is no definite. It is all
Because
subjective.
what you also to even expand it, think about all of history
Mm-hmm.
and how much that answer is going to differ from different time
And
periods,
it's gonna
and
continue
it
to
even contemporarily differs from where you are in the world. People are going to give you way different answers. There's like it's so impossible to
You
come
go
up
to
with
Japan and
But
based
I-
on how JJ acts, he might be deemed as a femboy.
But I do think it's also unfair to say that men and women are equal in everything.
that added
No.
a ton.
Women
Absolutely-
cannot do everything a man can, and there are
absolutely
things men can't do that a woman can.
And-
And I'm not talking about biologically. Obviously, men
And this will
can't
be
get pregnant and
this will be
whatnot.
an opinion that can be argued, but very difficult to do so. Is that honestly most of the definitive things in this world are scientific.
right.
Yeah,
Everything else is going to be opinion based, perspective.
Without science, there are no facts. It's just societal constructs.
well,
Even science
even
itself can
within even well.
I mean, somebody had to make it up at some point.
If we're talking about definitives, we have to be more specific. Not to say scientific is a bit not too specific on like what's definitive, just because of science also has tended to change.
No. Science doesn't change. It's who they ask for the
Science-
science that's changed.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that we
I
need
think
to we
science
need
expands.
we need to think of objectivity to be more specific.
Well, you also got to think of, are they changing the science so that way they're politically correct, or are they changing the science because they actually discovered something? That's another thought. Because
Science is. Here's my.
Well, even within
Here's my
even within
science.
science, there's even like things that are theoretical
Uh-huh.
that are also
yeah,
subjective.
but those aren't definitives.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's still within the
So
top.
here's
It's still within
my-
the context of science. Being
Here's my
thinking
view of
scientifically.
science.
That's why I wanted to focus on something more specific, like objectivity.
That's funny.
That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm sorry.
So
But-
no, that's fine. That's fine. Here's my. So I'm glad that we came to this point of there are no definitives aside from the physicality of man to define what a man is, because especially now, either role can fulfill whatever you would consider. I mean, it was kind of like a brain teaser and a social experiment, which is why I kind of waited to hear what each and every last one of you had to say, because that was my point of gathering I was gathering data, essentially. I was gathering data so that I can literally be like, that can be done by a man, that can be done by a woman, that can be done by men, but that can also be done by a woman. Just to bring to the point that there is no definitive besides the science of it. That's why I kind of excluded the genitalia part. Because in today's society, it's a forever ongoing, I feel like, conversation of
What makes a man a man?
Yeah, I mean, you literally have people out here that identify as an attack helicopter, and then tomorrow they'll define themselves as a man, and it'll be a woman. So that's
Or they're gender fluid. They aren't any gender. Whatever that means.
You know, and
They're an LGHD TV. That's what they are.
the Alphabet Mafia. formerly known.
Alphabet soup.
So, I mean, like I said, I think my opinion on science is this. Science is like, how I view science is such. Science is the most definitive thing in our world, or in our lifetime, or in our existence that we can rely on. Some people rely more on religion, rely more on scriptures. Some people heavily rely on science. Some people rely on both. You have, back in the day, we had science as a part of the church. We had politics as a part of the church. And you had all these different intermeshings of realistically just data. What I view science as this. Science itself. Science is continuously and will forever change and expand based on variables. We might think that we know it all, and we might think that we've come to a definite conclusion of this is this and this is what it's going to be because this is what it's been and it's now proven to be so. But then 10 years later, new technology enters the chat, new variables are found, and all of a sudden all the data that we have relied on or defined over XYZ amount of years and XYZ amount of time is now all of a sudden changed or insignificant because there's new variables that change what the solution or the answers were.
Okay, but if we're going off of 2025 science,
I would at this point argue between all the variables that we found when it comes to being a man, there are only two, X and Y chromosomes. And I think that we have, I can say it's safe to assume, I can think that it's safe to assume, I would say it's safe to assume that we have all the variables there to define what a man is and what a man isn't.
genetically.
Okay,
yes.
Genetically
Yes.
speaking. But then,
That's a nice roundabout way to get back to that.
Yeah. So, science boils back down to science. Read your science book, kids. Yeah, I love science.
Read the peer-reviewed articles in scientific
Peer
journals.
review articles of what makes a man a man
Should we wrap it up?
should be
We're like an hour.
publicly spread across the states, the countries, the world.
This part can be cut out.
Do y'all want to get into one more quick topic? We're at an hour.
I'm chilling.
I think it's a good stopping point, honestly.
I think bring something up.
Bring something up?
Yeah. Hook up.
Culture.
Nude.
I feel like hookup culture is a little bit too long of a.
This is not a quick topic.
It was definitely one of mine.
Politics left versus right. That'd be a whole nother hour. But I also feel like hookup culture could turn into a long conversation as well. Or it could also be really short because I think we all
Really
are on the same page.
Let's see, what other topics do we even have? Oh, that's the same one I just pulled.
That's why you
How
said
about transition it?
That's
from
another one.
science?
You got some, like, thinkers in here.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah, we need like a
Oh, be rich,
We need like a closer.
Be respected.
Yes. Yeah, so
Be rich? Question mark.
This
be
was
respected,
all right.
question mark.
All right. Let me explain the thought process.
Why are you confused?
No, I was just
This
reading
was the thought process. Was this? This was just supposed to be like kind of a warm up question. All right. This is gonna be a warm up question, and more of a what if scenario.
That's what you're crazy.
So, if you had to choose, would you rather be rich or be respected?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My fault. My fault.
I don't know what we're laughing at.
It was below his wealth ears.
Oh my god. That is too funny. No, when you mentioned the topic,
That's funny.
when you mentioned the topic, JJ asked the question back to you rhetorically, seemingly confused.
No, I was reading it how it was.
And I was like, well, he seemed confused. I was like,
I understood that question.
Why are you confused? You must be poor.
Let's see.
Anyways.
But I actually was just reading it how he wrote it. That's why I was confused.
See, I didn't even see you had the paper.
I didn't. He had the paper.
Okay, so this is just a quick little, I guess, would you rather scenario to wrap it up. Would you rather be rich or be respected?
I feel like if you're rich, you're respected.
Debatable.
I feel like, who cares? Live your life.
Okay. You personally though,
Be
I
rich
would-
or respected.
if you had to choose
Define rich.
wealth, monetary wise,
Like we're talking top 1%.
Just rich.
enough to do whatever you
I
want
would
whenever you
choose
want.
to be rich because I don't care what anyone thinks. Why would I care to be respected with $5 to my name? What's that gonna
Even
do?
if that meant your mother didn't respect you.
You're okay. So you're asking a different question now. You're asking.
Well,
if
no,
I'd
it's
rather
just,
give
would
up
you
one
rather-
for the other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta ask that question differently then.
Okay. Literally, you get one cannot be had without the other. Like if you're rich, nobody respects you, or
Fuck.
you can't get rich, but everybody respects
They
you.
cannot respect me while I drive
I
off
can't get rich is crazy.
in a Porsche.
It's just a what if. Would you rather?
Well,
They can
the thing
disrespect
is,
me as
I told him to define rich, and I'll pick be respected because there's within the choice of being respected, there's still that opportunity to just live a modest life to like
You
raise
know
like
what's
2
really
kids.
funny?
So what?
A rich kid would say
You
something
know how
like
to
that.
say shit.
We're sitting in a personal movie theater right now.
Literally, we're in.
Turn the camera around. Turn the camera around.
Oh my god. Nah, this is.
I mean, it's
I'll
just like,
throw a
like-
picture in.
Like,
Yeah, just
like
make
Me
sure-
editing later. This is
just
a
be
reminder.
like, picture.
Yeah,
picture.
I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really care to have one. I mean, I'm not gonna care to have one of these in my house when I'm older.
A rich person would say that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's funny.
At least I'm not poor.
All right. Well, that's gonna pretty much wrap up our episode 4.
Hey, I didn't get to answer.
Crazy.
Actually, I did. I don't give a fuck what people think. They can be mean to me and I'll drive off in whatever nice car.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this. Please put your thoughts. Let us write them into here.
This is the comment section.
All right.
Pretend this is
Put
the
your
comment
comments
section.
in here. Look,
Actually
you see?
put it in the comments.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Put stuff in there.
Don't find our IP address and come put it in the actual thing. Put it in the comments. We'll put it in the thing.
And then maybe we'll choose it.
As you
We'll
saw,
see.
it was very random. He shuffled it poorly, but it was very random. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on the audio platforms, hit that save, hit the follow button, and
Stay
notifications. Did I say notifications? Turn on notifications. Even though it's the same day, same time every week.
See you next week.
Stay rich.